Swain, there has been continued talk, I guess by some, of, hey, can we do some things to change the layout at the Food City Center, where fans are? Can we get the student section moved around a bit? Now, they continue to sell out. They continue to have big crowds, energetic crowds, loud. It's a tough place to play. That was again apparent this past Saturday with the Vols beating Alabama. But it was brought up to Danny White on Twitter, also known as X, and the tweet tagging him said, Day 5 of asking Danny White to move the student section. So Danny White reposted it and responded. I guess since it's Day 5, I'll answer, but won't be addressing this again. We already changed the student section prior to the 22-23 season, moving the students from the corner to behind both baskets, closer to the court, increasing lower bowl seats by 40%, while keeping the same number of upper bowl seats. We did this to enhance our home court advantage, and it has worked. Atmosphere is electric. It's disingenuous to compare the third largest college basketball arena in the country that sold out for the season to buildings half the size with a fraction of the season ticket base. Stop the nonsense. That was the response from Tennessee's athletic director, Danny White, who I think we've seen on previous occasions will not hold back if he believes the button has been pressed a little too hard or too often. And that would be the case here today. Stop the nonsense on the idea of the setup at the Food City Center at Tennessee's basketball arena is not the way it should be or good enough. And we can have different opinions on how the layout should be. He is not wrong that the atmosphere is terrific. When you go there with the layout as it is right now, at least in my opinion, I think the atmosphere is terrific. It is a very tough place to play. And he references the results. The results for Tennessee basketball at home have been very good. Part of that is how good the team is, of course, but the atmosphere helps.
Understand something. Danny will address you when he gets tired of a narrative being painted, or he's tired of talk going around about how we need to do something different than what we're doing right now, and try to be a school that doesn't have what we have on the basketball side in terms of support and atmosphere. The last time he did this, you remember, it was Tony Elliott. You remember now. Schools are downsizing because they can't do what Tennessee can do. I think it's really, really important to understand that when you turn on the Auburn game, when you turn on the Alabama game, when you turn on, some of these games that have small arenas, the Duke game, we're so used to Duke all these years, and growing up, I used to love the Duke games and wanted to play at Duke just because of the atmosphere. But when I realized how small it was, it changed something with me. These schools, these arenas, they're downsizing because they can't do what Tennessee could do. If they could, they would have never downsized. They would have kept their big arenas, but they can't fill them. That is a luxury that Tennessee has. And, yeah, it won't be as close-knit. It won't be that hornet's nest. They won't be up on you and on top of you. Okay. But you have more people there. They're going to be loud. So the volume is the same. It just doesn't look the same. And so I understand where Danny's coming from. I do understand fans that see this arena, see that arena, and without knowing the facts that Danny just laid out, I understand those fans going, man, we want that. Guess what? You have that. It just looks different, but you have that. You have the numbers. You have the volume. Alabama came up in here and got mollywopped, got waxed, because Tennessee's defense was suffocating. Offensively, we executed, but that atmosphere got the best of them 2 times in a row. The first time they had Brandon Miller and the number 1 team in the country. This time they came up in here with the number 1 offensive team in the country and got waxed. So I get where Danny's coming from. I'm glad he addressed it, though.
Yeah, if you have an opinion that hey, I'd like the layout to be different, like if you're starting from scratch, that you would do it differently. I totally understand that. That's also not how it works because you have everything set up the way that it was. But if you go to a big-time game when a big opponent comes in, and that's when the crowd's going to be at its peak in terms of energy and excitement and volume, it's an electric atmosphere. And I'm fortunate to be able to sit pretty close to the floor with the media pass that I have. It feels like the people are going to fall on top of you when that place gets as loud as it often does in those kinds of games. And again, the team being as good as it is a big part of this. A reason that you can pack the stadium, sell out all the seats is how good Tennessee is. So the team is doing its part to start out. But I think the fans do their part. So if you would prefer a different layout, totally understandable. But I think the way they have it right now is very good and advantageous for Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, I just
probably financially and with the atmosphere inside the arena. Both matter.
Both matter 100%.
We'll go to the phone lines, 865-656-9900. You can go check out Danny White's Twitter account, AD_Danny White, if you want to read that again. We posted it up in the YouTube video portion as well. 865-656-9900 to join us. Curtis, you're on Josh and Swain. Thanks for calling in, Curtis. What do you think? What's on your mind?
What a name.
Hey, guys, just to go off of what you just said, and I think you just hit it on the end of your comment. A lot of these arenas can't fill them out, but if people would get on the website for ticket prices and see what kind of money is being generated off of those seats that surround the left and right side of the arena lower to the floor, I think that's the biggest reason why we've got students where they're at, because those are some very premium-priced seats that the university generates a lot of money from. And, I mean, I like the arenas that have the students on the floor, but it's all about being able to fund the athletic programs that we have, and I think that's the biggest draw of having fans on the sides and students on the ends. Y'all have a great day.
Hey, Curtis, thank you for calling in.
Man, this is a business now. We not a charity.
It's a big business.
It's not a charity. So you got people paying for those seats, and you're filling the arena, and you have a great atmosphere. Go look at the record. Tennessee in home games over the last 2 or 3 seasons. It's right there with some of the same teams that have the small arenas that you want to emulate. You want to have their arena set up. No, sometimes the grass is not greener on the other side. Your grass is green too. We have a large stadium, arena, and it's very, very loud. Go ask those teams like Texas that came up in here, Auburn a couple of years ago when they had Jabari Smith Jr. Man, I was in there. That place was rocking.
Yep.
Kentucky, when they came into town and Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield throwing oops to each other, hanging on the rim. Like, that place was rocking. So we're doing something that 90% of college basketball programs in America can't do. They can't do it. They can't do it. So I'm good.
The Georgia game in 2018, that was the one that closed out the regular season when Tennessee won the league.
Oh,
Remember
yeah.
Admiral, I think, stole the basketball, came up with it.
Dunked it last second.
That place was wild.
So unsportsmanlike and so great. I loved it. I loved it.
So, again, I'll state, if you would prefer a different layout, totally get it. It's not as simple as you strip everything off and you put everything back in. And as Curtis pointed out, the money matters.
Oh, it matters.
It matters in a big way.
Yeah,
so, stop the nonsense.
Danny said he had enough.
Yeah.
He had enough. Got him cooped up in the house. It's snowing. You know, folks just they patience run out this last couple of days, man. So Danny had enough. I'm glad he addressed it that way. I'm glad he said what he said at the end. Stop the nonsense. Look at what you have. You have something that only a few programs in America can do. And you look at Syracuse when Boeheim was there, they used to pack out a big arena. They're not doing that anymore because Boeheim ain't there. So these other programs, they're downsizing because they have to.
These aren't the days of the black curtains.
Nope, we don't have
move
to.
on down.
We don't have to.